think here it goes. Hey everybody, Steve Kreiner, the Dog Soldier here. Welcome to this week's podcast. This is episode, I believe, number 6. And it's May 11th, 2017. And as always, this podcast is brought to you by TacticalPredatorHunter.com, your Dog Soldier approved gear. And tonight, we have a pretty damn good show going on here. We're going to be talking coyote hunting. We're going to be talking probably about deer. We're going to be talking about hogs. We pretty much do whatever we want to on this podcast. But most importantly, I have Jim Agnew. Is that how you pronounce your name, Jim?
It's Angott. Like you ain't got my last name right.
Ain't got nothing.
Nothing.
Dude, I wish I had a name like that. You know, gosh dang it, I was doing this cool professional intro. My partner's texting me, and my partner's texting me. He's like, "Come on, Dog Soldier, fried chicken, get pumped up. Tonight's podcast is going to be the best one ever." So I'm trying to be professional, and then I ain't got your name right.
You ain't got my name right yet.
That's as bad as me making coffee cups that says "Peace out, homie," and telling everybody the best part of waking up is Dog Soldier on your cup, you know.
There you go.
So I'm going to have to, speaking of that, and sorry guys, we're going to talk about everything tonight just like usual. Once again, we are on iTunes as well, so if you guys want to bail out later on, it'll always be on iTunes, and it's audio only now, so it's very easy to listen to in the background of your iPhone products. But anyway, Jim, you know, I'm always trying to be professional. And I got this name Kreiner. Like, my name's Steve Kreiner. I'm glad they started calling me the Dog Soldier, but if I had a name like Angott, how many podcasts have you wrecked to date by people doing that?
I have no idea, but it's fun because everybody. I'll tell you one of the funniest stories of my last name was my wife and I had a problem with one of a couch or something we bought, and they were supposed to send this guy out, week after week to fix the couch, and they kept, we called time after time after time, and this lady's like, "What's your last name? What's your last name?" And I'm like, "It's Angott." Like, you ain't got my damn couch fixed yet. And I swear that lady died laughing. Everybody in my office died laughing. It was like, so yeah, my family's been rolling with that one for a while.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so Jim Angott, we got him on the other line, and he is actually the owner of Cirrus Windicator. And, I always talk about Dog Soldier to the show to these people that watch the podcast, and it's a real big part of my life is making sure I don't shove product down people's throat, but I really do shove the fact toward people that I have Dog Soldier fine-tuned right now. One thing about Dog Soldier is we are so fine-tuned that, like, I don't, you know how easy it is just to use stuff that works? I mean, it's just so easy. And I found your product, and I actually contacted you about being a dealer, and you end up being a partner of Dog Soldier, and it's just awesome. I mean,
yeah, it's going to be. I'm looking forward to the partnership and the relationship we have between Dog Soldier and of course your online store. The Cirrus Wind Indicator. Even though when we first started this thing, you always think of the bow hunter, the deer, the deer hunter, the elk hunter, things like that, but really predator hunting was really at one of the top of our list because it's just so critical, and nobody brings that to light better than you, and so that's why we're so excited about the partnership we've got going with you this year, and looking forward to seeing you using the Cirrus Wind Indicator out there on those hunts, and improving your sets and putting the wind in your face even when you can't feel it sometimes.
So we're not going to spend the next hour shoving the Windicator through people's face, but I am going to tell them right now that I have used nasal spray bottles from Walmart, which works really well, but it sucks when it's 15 degrees outside and they either freeze up or they dump out in your pocket. And then you walk around town and people think you've pissed your pants. Or I've used the talcum powder deals, we sold probably literally millions of them when I worked for HS, and the caps would work off and you'd have a pocket full of talcum powder, or the powder was heavier and
Right.
they weren't seeing the wind. So everybody knows that your jam Angott from Cirrus Windicator, and you got the best Windicator in my opinion that I've ever seen. And when I'm puffing it right now for the people at home, and I've hunted with this thing already, and I've been in heavy winds, I've been in light winds. Really, most importantly, I had a guy comment the other day that said, "Why in the hell you've been hunting coyotes, Kreiner for over 20 years. If you can't tell me right now where the wind's blowing every second of the coyote stand, you ain't learned nothing." Well, I like the Windicator more so when the wind is not blowing. So
That's right.
this is it, and people are seeing it at home. What it is it has a trigger switch and a puffer switch. I don't know the scientific name for it, but it puts out a little bitty cloud, and it's all over the room right now. If I was in Colorado, people would be thinking I'm smoking pot right now, because like I love playing with this thing, and I love hunting with it. And that Windicator is actually the one you sent me a month or so ago, and I've puffed it on every podcast. I've not recharged it yet. I've not put a new cartridge in it yet. So I'm just kind of going to use it till it goes out. And I know right now on a 10-day hunt, I'm good to go. So anyway, we're going to talk about the wind tonight. We're going to talk about a lot of different animals. Right now, I want to know about Jim. Like, how every time I see this, I'm like, why didn't I think about this crap? I mean, it's one of them products. Like, why didn't I think of that? And it kind of, to be honest with you, when I think about stuff like this, it kind of pisses me off as an entrepreneur and an outdoor, a person that lives in the outdoor. Like, why can't I think of this? So tell me that how did you think of this? What's the story?
Yeah, it's actually a pretty cool story. I mean, I love telling it because it's a while back. It was actually in 16, okay, just before AT of 2016, which is the Archery Trade Association show. For some of the viewers that listeners that don't know what that is, but anyway, my nephew Thomas and I used to call each other in the mornings, and I live in Texas, he lives in Michigan, and we would always start our conversation off with, "Hey, I got an invention." And we just started laughing about it because it was just like, what now what? Just like you said, it's just, why did I think of that kind of thing? Or, oh, that's stupid, somebody already did it. Or,
Yeah.
And so we were talking about this vapor technology and stuff, and I called him. I said, "Hey, look, I've got an invention." And he's like, "Now what?" And I'm like, "Well, what if I could figure out a way to develop a vapor-like cloud that would come out like these vapor cigarettes and these, that technology, and how can we, figure a way to get it to puff out instead of sucking the stuff down into your lungs and killing you, or whatever it does to you. I don't even know." But, and so anyway, we started tossing an idea around, and he goes, "Man, you're onto something." And I said, "Yeah." I said, think about it, because it's a smoke-like cloud is going to react to the slightest wind and thermals. And we hang our hat on that for today. I mean, so as the thought kept coming and the ideas kept coming, I did some marketing work for a technology development company here in Texas. And these guys, what they do is they invent things and they patent them and they sell the technology off. They patent it. They don't actually go to manufacturing. And so I approached these guys and I said, "Look, I have an idea that I would like to be involved with in your company." I said, "But I don't want to design and patent this thing and then not sell it. We need to sell it. We need to own this as a company and go into retail and different markets and things like that." So I presented it to them, and that's where we are today. So I have business partners up in Conroe, Texas, and we formed the company Cirrus Outdoors, and we named it Cirrus because of the cloud. The Cirrus cloud is typically a very wispy light cloud at 10,000 feet that moves on the slightest wind and thermal. So that's where the name came from, and the branding opportunity came from the actual Cirrus cloud. So we went with Cirrus Outdoors, and we invented, and we had a patent pending on our technology with the Cirrus wind indicator. And these guys really brought, the bar napkin blueprint, so to speak, and the dream of a couple city-born rednecks like like my nephew and I, that brought the idea to fruition, and we got the thing in metal and plastic, and all the way to the shelves of Cabela's now, and of course stores like yours and dealers like you, and television shows, several different television shows across all the platforms, and I mean we're just off to the races. And then on top of that, we're in multiple markets too. So it's just been a fun ride. Relatively new company. I mean, we just literally had products since last August of 16, and we came to ATA January of 2017 and introduced our product line with the Cirrus wind indicator and the four scent cartridges that are the replaceable scent cartridges that have different scents in them. They have and they're just cover scents. Of course, they're not attractants. It doesn't make any sense to have an attractant in a product that's going to blow down wind. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. Well, especially while you're holding it. So, but there's a little bit of earth. There's a pine, earth, acorn, and then what we call our natural cloud formula, which is unscented.
Yeah,
that's where it all started.
It's actually a good. I'm sure it's longer because I've been in manufacturing too, on the electronic game call side and the hand call side for years with a few different companies, and it's always a longer story than told. But as far as short form, it's a great story. It's actually a success story, and I'm glad to hear that it just happened, because when I found Cirrus, I called my partner. I'm like, dude, I'm so mad right now because I just found an awesome product that we can use and we can sell, and it's going to sell itself, which is what I like. And I thought it'd been out a while. So
no, it is very new. Like I said, we literally just got product August 1st of last year, and we've been gaining different distribution networks, and obviously with different sales reps and things across the country now pushing Cirrus, and we got a great following on social media. We've got, like I said, our branding has been, we're very excited about the marketing and the brand opportunities we've had with folks like yourself and the variety of different hunting shows and things like that throughout the industry, print magazines, print media, that kind of stuff as well. Outdoor writers embracing the fact that there's a new way to check the wind. And you're absolutely right. I couldn't agree more with when you made the comment about your guy that said, look, Steve, you've been chasing coyotes for 20 years. There's been, I think of all the great hunters of the world. I mean, you go back even like way back in the day. I mean, the Fred Bears, the Dick Idols. I mean, the guys, way back when, and they've all been successful. And all this thing is, and I always say this, it's just a wind indicator. It just happens to be the best wind indicator on the market today, in our opinion. And because it shows you things that the traditional wind indicators don't. And, again, I don't want to spend an hour, preaching about our product. It's we want people to go out and visit us on our website or go and watch your show and read up on it and look at all the videos and things we have out there to make up their mind for themselves. But I mean, this thing just reacts to just about anything. And the way to do it is get a Cirrus and play with it in your house. And you won't believe what you can learn from the way the wind moves or the currents move throughout a house until you actually sit there and test the wind in it with something like ours. And you can't do that with powder. You can't do that with an electronic looking thing that has lights and things on it, or something that moves a fan. You don't get the same reaction as you do with our product.
Yeah,
like you said, longevity of it.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, it's more important to me when the wind is not blowing or the wind is light. A lot of times you'll reach in your pocket on a coyote stand and you'll grab your nasal spray deal, and you got to undo the cap, and then you got to spray it, or you'll grab your powder and you got to shake it around, and you look like you're sitting over behind a bush doing something you're not supposed to, or you can reach in your pocket and grab it. So it's real convenient. It's a great product, and
thank you.
Gosh, I'm glad to have it at tacticalpredatorhunter.com, because it'll sell itself. I'll use it on the show, and I might mention it every now and then. But one thing about Dog Soldier is we try not to commercialize too much. I mean, we're not very hard sell, and you know that from the time you talk to me.
Sure.
You pretty much. I mean, it's when you got a great product, it's a great product. So I'm sure when you're, and a lot of people are going to be interested in this part of it. When you come up with a new company or you come up with new products, and obviously, and I've been a part of this too, but you start getting investors or you start getting partners and you start moving through. So obviously you did research on obviously the wind Decatur market as far as what's out there, but you also done research on animals, correct? I mean, you pretty much needed to show everybody you presented to how important their noses are to their survival, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you start this process, I mean, uh, it's not easy. I mean, I can tell you that, and it is like you said, you have to sell this thing to everybody, and it starts even at home, with my wife and my family and support that we have in the product now with our family. I mean, just to say, hey, look, I got this harebrained idea. I'm going to quit my job in the corporate world, and I'm going to pursue this piece of plastic. I mean, that's a big step, and that's the first step, quite frankly. And I certainly couldn't do it without support of my wife and daughter, and of course my family on both sides. Supporting us and helping us along the way with believing in it and standing right there by your side. And then of course it comes down to the business side of it. Like you said, you have to trust the guys that you're going to present this thing to. I fully trust my business partners, and we had a great working relationship prior to the formation of Cirrus Outdoors, and it seemed very seamless, and it has been to this day. I mean, we work very close together, and even though we're a couple hours apart from our Cirrus Outdoors office in Victoria to their offices up there in Conroe, Texas, is about 3 hours. And we just do a lot on the phone, and we get together when we can, and we're moving the needle in a very short order. And like I said, it really starts though with the support system and quite frankly believing in it.
Yeah, that's
but,
very very important.
mm-hmm.
A lot of a lot of things, and this is going to kind of veer off track of the subject a little bit, but since we're talking about support groups and manufacturing and starting new things, I owned a construction company about 12 or 13 years ago, 11 or 12, I don't know how to figure it up, but I owned this construction company, and I had a partner. We worked really good together. We had several crews, and we were finished carpenters, and we could do anything. We done remodels. We done about everything we could do. But I always had the dream of hunting, and I always wanted to be I always wanted to be that guy that was shooting big deer on TV, and I always wanted to be that. When I was a kid, coyotes wasn't even on my radar till I got about 16 years old. But I examined the market a little bit about 12 years ago, and I just happened to be in the right spot at the right time, and I was fairly successful at killing coyotes, and I was fairly successful at videoing them, and the technology wasn't as easy back then, so I figured things out, but I decided to take a leap, and I've got some, like Bill Jackson, my partner, which edits the show, and Jason Stearman and Dennis Riley and Rachel, and I developed this little hardcore team of guys, called the Regulators, and some of them are still around, because we're family. And, it wasn't I'm going to put you on TV deal. I'm going to give you $1 million deal. It was we're going to shoot a lot of coyotes, and we're going to have fun. And I'll tell you right now, with everything going on here lately in the market and the oversaturation in the market of pro staffers, and the predator hunting market is especially, I am really digging support groups. I mean, I just seen I see regular guys on here commenting, every week. They're really good at watching the podcast every week. But I just seen a buddy of mine, Scott Hampton. He's been on a couple times, and it's good to see these guys that are friends. That it takes it's tough. I mean, there's a lot of nights that you didn't sleep, wasn't there?
There's no doubt. I mean, it is an emotional roller coaster. And like I said, that support staff a team around you is what keeps you going. I mean, without Jeff and the guys back and Chris and the guys back at the shop there at Conroe, I mean, it's sometimes you just got to lean on them a little bit when down here when you're in the trenches like with the warehouse and filling orders or they're doing some sales and the marketing part of it or even stuff like this, the fun stuff, which is this here, talking to you and maybe even getting out to do some hunting here and there.
Yeah.
But when when you can make that phone call and your business partner's there to say, look, man, it's going to be okay. This is just a little bump in the road or either that or vice versa. Hey, congratulations, that's awesome. What an opportunity. Let's ride with this. Let's go with this. Or, hey, we're going to do this, this, and this. And it's just exciting. And then, like I said, when you get home and the days are long and there's, the paychecks are non-existent when you start something like this. You got to come home to a house that has to be welcoming and loving, and I certainly am blessed with that. So it's not easy, and that's something that I think a lot of people understand that because not everybody can do what we did. Not a lot of people can come in and saturate the market with great marketing, and we have the support, a great support staff on our marketing side as well. And finding all the partners and getting everybody together to push the brand and push what Cirrus Outdoors is all about. That's just, quite frankly, checking the wind with a cool wind indicator.
Yeah, I tell you right now, I started Dog Soldier 5 years ago. We're coming up on our 5th season this next year. We're filming it now. I've been in some rough spots, and I've been in some times that wasn't pleasant, and I tell you what, when you get things right and you're living good and you're happy, and of course finances is good, but that's not everything. I'll tell you right now, when you get in a good spot, you can just freaking fly like a jet,
Mm-hmm.
and I love that. I really love that. So moving on a little bit, coyotes. I studied coyotes a lot. Years ago, I used to run with a guy out of Arizona, and I'm going to have him on the podcast here in a couple weeks, hopefully. His name's Rich Higgins, and this cat is knows everything about a coyote you can know when it comes to the biology of a coyote. And he's worked with the University of Phoenix down there, or University of Arizona there in Phoenix, and he's done mouse squeaks on collared coyotes, and they're working the wind at like 3/4 of a mile, and but the most important thing that I ever learned from Rich, and I'm sponsored by a Sin Elimination Company, and I told them when they approached me, I was like, I can't hide from a coyote. There's no freaking way I can hide from a coyote. Now,
right.
you may disagree with me a little bit on this, and that's fine. That's a good thing about our show. We can do whatever we need to do. But I think deer personally are stupid because I've really spent a lot of years focusing on long snouted canines and pigs, for instance. But with their nose, a coyote is so dynamic. And I've just recently started wolves, and I used to say coyotes are the most dynamic animal in the world. Well, wolves are freaking amazing. But anyway, the biggest thing I learned is there was a lot of times, I'm shooting 160-inch deer that's approaching scrapes from downwind, and I can tell when they stop and they get something in their nose they don't like, but you can still talk them into doing something. But coyotes, they get downwind and they get something in their nose, and they can only do 3 things. They can sit down, they can run off, or they can be stupid and run in. And sometimes they do come on in, but they part smell out by the millions. And I try, the only way I can explain this to people is, they smell your shoelaces and your shoes, but more importantly, they smell the eyelets on your shoes, and they smell the plastic on your shoestrings, and they smell your buckle that you got on your belt, along with the conchos and the pretty little beads. They smell everything. And I was really surprised when it come to deer how much less they actually scientifically use their nose. But when it comes to coyotes, when it comes to pigs, when it comes to anything that you want to get dead, they always, I mean, yeah, turkeys can see and they don't use their nose. Bobcats are stupid and they use their nose, but they don't ever know what they're smelling. But the most of the predators or most of the animals we hunt, moose, elk, elk would be extinct if they didn't have a nose. And
Sure.
it's so important. There's guys right now on the internet that are actually saying don't worry about the wind in the predator hunting side of life, on the groups I hang out in and comments. And it just, there's still a lot of people out there that need educated on the wind. When you go to these outdoor shows, and I know how you approach your people, and I know how you talk to people, and you don't really talk about your wind indicator. You talk about the wind and how important it is. How many people do you actually come up to your booth and don't play the wind?
Oh, it's unbelievable. And actually, it's kind of crazy because when you talk to so many people and you get the booth on the ground at trade shows, you run into everybody. There's some guys that just, they've been using puffers or using different technology or whatever they use, and they'll see this thing and they kind of go like, wow, that's crazy, that's perfect, I want it, I'll get it. And then there's other guys like, oh, that don't matter. That I work 50, 60 hours a week. I get out 3 times a year. My father-in-law owns 10 acres, and I sit in the same tree stand. It don't matter if the wind's blowing from this way or that way. It doesn't matter. And I've shot plenty of deer. You get that a lot. You get that part of it a lot. Like, it doesn't matter. I only get out a little bit, and then even I don't. A lot of times you get these guys that they seem to be very avid. Like they're showing you pictures on their phone. I mean, tons of deer, tons of coyotes and hogs, and all these cool pictures and stuff. And I get very rarely they say, "Well, I don't play the wind." But I think this scent elimination technology that's out there, I think it's all extremely important. And I think that you should use every tool to your advantage, whether it's a particular call, whether it's a particular camouflage, whether it's a particular scent elimination product, whether it's a spray or these ozone machines, whatever your thing is. I think you should use it all to your advantage, and that's why even I just did a podcast not too long ago, and again, like you said, not cramming the Cirrus on stove, but if you don't use a Cirrus, use a wind indicator. Go get something, lick your finger, throw something in the air, do something, because if you're not playing the wind, you're missing out. And so what we do say though is if you're going to use a wind indicator, we hope that you choose ours. And the reason why is because of the way that our technology works. It's going to teach you things that you had no idea existed. You're going to go, oh crap! Now that I've been sitting in that stand for all these years, now I realize the wind's actually not going right to left. It actually swirls back behind me. Well, no wonder the freaking deer come from the right. The wind's not even, it feels like it's coming left or right, but it may hook around a tree or it may hook a certain way and you can see it. So just use a wind indicator. You get the wind in your favor and use all your other, the hocus pocus stuff that's out there and whatever you feel is going to give you a better advantage. I mean,
I used to give seminars a lot. I would go all over the country and do seminars. And speaking of that, while we're talking about seminars, I mentioned to you a little bit about I think I talked to you about it, but in these seminars, I'll get to that here in a second. I'm getting sidetracked because it's really important stuff. I used to tell people they haven't lived until they grabbed a thistle top and learned how the wind blew. And nobody ever understood that. And I could do an hour-long seminar on teaching people the wind. And now I'm out west. I'm from Southwest Missouri. I was hunting whitetails in the big woods, and I was hunting, coyotes in the timber and in the cow pastures. And people didn't understand how wind grabbed a fence row and it affected the wind. They didn't understand. They didn't understand that if I got a north wind here, I about bet you I have an east wind when I get to my deer stand, just the way the holler hooks around. And I just always told people you never lived until you grab a thistle top and learn how the wind blew. And And speaking of seminars, and Cirrus is going to be a big part of it, because a lot of people at seminars, they don't really show, like, a lot of people come to the podcast to learn, or a lot of people hang out on Facebook to learn, or a lot of people watch the show to learn, but a lot of people like how open I am to people, how personal I am to people. I talk to, like, Miles right now is commenting on the podcast. I'm getting to know these people's names, and I'm getting, they rib me just as bad. But at seminars, people really, really want to learn how to kill more animals. And
Sure.
and so this year, we're going to do 7 to 10 shows. We're going to try to do the World Deer Classic, I believe, is in Alabama. We're going to do Ohio and the Iowa Big Buck Classics. We're going to do the Kansas Big Buck Classic, and I'm going to do some shows out west. But we're going to go on tour. I was listening to Howard Stern the other day, and I listen. I watch Joe Rogan's podcast, and I listen to Howard Stern because, the other day I just come up with this crazy idea, or a few months ago, to do this podcast thing. But one reason is I have a face for radio, so I always wanted to be a radio guy. And the whole YouTube live streaming deal is just obviously so people can watch and hang out, and I can stream it live and then move it to iTunes. But, I was listening to Howard Stern. He was talking to Motley Crue, and Motley Crue was so excited about this new album. And he's like, well, how in the hell are you going to make it? Nobody's selling records right now. Records aren't selling. He's like, I'm going to go on tour, brother. He's like, yeah, the radio's good. iTunes is good. Yada, yada, digital's good. But you sell records by going on tour and being with your people. And so that's what we're going to do this year. We're going to do about 8 shows. And, of course, we'll have all kinds of game calls and hand calls and dog soldier kick-ass stuff. And I might even get some of my favorite... I got some Johnny Cash style shirts that I haven't released yet because I'm not sure how you sponsors will feel about them. But
we're good with that, man. We don't care.
I'm a t-shirt addict. I'm a t-shirt addict, and every time I go to my closet, I'm just like, it's my birthday every day because I forget I ordered these t-shirts, and I find a different t-shirt every day. When you sent me, I opened a box today, and I'm wearing it right now, my Cirrus shirt, and dude, you're gonna see all kinds. I love t-shirts. You're gonna see all kinds of crazy stuff, like Get Serious with Cirrus, and I'm getting on the epic bandwagon with Cirrus. But we're gonna go on tour, and we have a lot of fun. We always have a big screen.
You need to get a t-shirt that says. You need to get a t-shirt that says Cirrus Outdoors. It's really one of the only companies that can blow smoke up your ass and mean it.
This is how.
And only you could pull that off.
I know. You know what? I'll launch a Teespring if I can get to my Photoshop tonight and get to working on it. I will launch a Teespring campaign tomorrow. You guys heard it here. I have it on video and audio of the owner of Cirrus telling me I can use his brand on an awesome shirt. So, but we do.
I'm taking a phone call from my partners. I'm surprised they're not beeping in already.
Well, I will tell you one thing. I do have some sponsors, and I won't name no names, but I do have some sponsors that, and bless her heart, I love her to death. I've known her for a million years, and she works with one of the major partners of Dog Soldier, and she said they had an OEM folder labeled Dog Soldier, and I said, OEM? That's like factory stuff or whatever. And she goes, yeah, it's our factory responses. I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, when the board emails me about you, I just go drag and drop one into the email and push send. She goes, we're already ready. So, I try not to, when I first started this is episode 6 or 7. When I started this podcast, I wanted everybody in the industry to be part of it, and there's just too much black tape, and it's not going to work that way. And of course, I was doing some news clips and having a real lot of fun with that, and some of my buddies got mad at me. It's just it's a funny thing, this business. And when I get sponsors that have good products and have good personalities, we just roll. And when we go on tour this year, we have a booth. We're gonna have all the Dog Soldier hand calls and e-calls. We're gonna have windicators. We're gonna have bodge sticks. We're gonna have everything, and we got a big screen up there in the booth, and we play music and we play episodes, and sometimes sometimes we don't even watch Dog Soldier. We may have it on some, we may play. We just do all kinds of goofy stuff, and we have a lot of fun, and we tend to draw a good crowd, and that's what we're gonna do. So maybe we can do something down in Texas and get you guys down there, and that would be
Yeah,
really fun.
we do a lot of shows and stuff, and you just let us know where you're going to be, and you definitely have our support. You never know, you might want to check your back pocket because we just might be in it and hanging out and having some fun with you guys because we just love getting out there and meeting a lot of people. The trade shows is really where, like you said, it's kind of like us going on tour. It's a great place to tell your story, answer questions. You kind of even take a beating sometimes. Some like you said, some guys just want to just kind of beat you up if they feel like they don't need it or don't want it. That's
Yeah.
fine too. Everybody has their choice, and that's we're cool with that. But we just it's a great place to meet a ton of people and have some fun. And we'll definitely support you on your world tour. I think that would be cool.
You hit the nail on the head. Meet people and have fun. There's one thing, and this is now we're getting into the Steve Kreiner part of the podcast. So buckle up and don't answer your phone if your partner's calling in. One thing, when you say meet people and have fun, one thing that I can do, like I mentioned, we're gonna Dog Soldier's gonna be on Roku here just pretty quick as soon as we get all the, there's a lot of stuff to go through and a lot of processes to go through to get on Roku. So we're gonna be on Roku. We're gonna be on Carbon TV, which is a platform people can go watch absolutely just about every hunting show ever made and watch it for free. So the Carbon TV is awesome. I mean, there's a lot of hunting stuff on there. So we're gonna be on Carbon, and of course YouTube's growing real good. I think I'm gonna reach my 7,000 subscribers before the end of May. But a lot of these people like Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. First of all, I think someday it's all going to be gone. I really do, with the liberalism and the settings. That, like, YouTube implemented a setting last week that labeled every gun channel and hunting channel controversial, and if you don't have your settings right, you can't even find us anymore on YouTube. And but one thing, and there's already people commenting, sweet, I have Roku, can't wait. That's Miles Elms. He's a regular on here. A lot of people have these platforms, but one thing we're doing at Dog Soldier is it's so easy to grab a social media platform and post pictures and hunt and do whatever you want to do and try to get free stuff but I really feel as a business move, but most importantly, I think I'm not getting any younger. I want to get out and have fun. One more, when we first started Dog Soldier, we went to shows and we tore the country up, and I mean, we really had a lot of fun. I want to get out and meet people. I want to grow our following because there's a lot of people. This YouTube deal has gotten out of hand. You wouldn't believe how many people don't have outdoor television. It is crazy.
Oh, I know. It is crazy. Yeah.
It just blows my mind how many people. I've been on television, and for all the people listening, if you're listening and that are wanting in the outdoor industry or have a Facebook page, and let me just tell you right now, you gotta, as a businessman, you gotta look outside the box. Like, what do I have outside? If I was in their shoes and I had a fan page or whatever, if I didn't have my show, let's just say, what do you have outside of Facebook or Instagram or YouTube? What do you have outside of that? I was listening to the thing today. 95% of incomes or businesses that you're supported by or involved in today will end, in 40 years average, and it's not. Because you got patents is running out or whatever, or maybe people grow old and they sell out, but that source of income always ends. And one thing we do at Dog Soldier is we try to do everything across the board: Carbon, Roku, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, everything, because sooner or later something's going to fall. Every good horse either gets old
Sure.
or breaks a leg, really.
Right.
And So one thing we're doing with this world tour is we're getting out and meeting people that don't have outdoor television, that don't have Roku, or plain and simple, no BS, plain and simple, that don't. I've been on TV for 12 years now, and you would not believe, and I'm not saying this arrogantly, because 12 years ago I thought it was different, but you would not believe how many people don't know who Dog Soldier is, or don't know who Al Morris is, and he's been on TV, for about 17 or 18 years, So this world tour is going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to have a lot of fun with the sponsors. We're going to have a lot of fun with you guys. I can't wait to come and pig hunt. That's what I can't wait to do.
Come on, man. I just was there this week. We had a hell of a week pig hunting. I hunted here in Victoria and took in fact, I took one of our field staff guys that just reached out through our Facebook page, and we have a little platform. And for your listeners out there, like you said, start thinking about, I want to be in the outdoor world, and I want to have my own show and all that. There's a lot to this thing, and with the equipment that's out there today, there's a lot of people running around with 4K cameras and some awesome equipment because it's very affordable now, and the results that you can get from digital editing and things like that are very easy to do. But it's way bigger than just owning a camera and running around and filming your hunts and things like that. But like you said, it has to be all encompassing. What is the big picture? You have to have something outside of that. And but we have this great network of field staff guys, and what that is are just guys that believe in Cirrus, right? They reach out to us through our website, that's Cirrus Outdoors, and they go to the field staff application, and basically what that is that's a guy saying, look, I absolutely love what you guys are doing. We love the product, and we want to kind of be a part of this thing. And so we go through their credentials and look through and make sure that this guy's avid and he's not, flipping somebody the bird every third Instagram photo or something like that, and make sure everybody's on the up and up. And
there goes my T-shirt idea.
With my logo on it. No, I mean, so we built this network of guys and girls that are across the country that are supporting us and loving us and everything like that. And there was a guy that said, "Hey, I'm in X city in Texas," and he goes, "Where can I go and shoot a hog?" And so I immediately suggested my buddy's place up in north of Houston there, Hog Wild Adventures. And so he started talking about it, and I said, I've got some pigs in Victoria anchored down right now, so why don't you come over and I'll take you on your first hog hunt. And so we did, and I mean, and we shot. It was so awesome, and we filmed it, and this guy was just loving life. And we went in, we actually shot 4 total. We killed 2 on film with his crossbow, and the other 2 were I shot with a pistol on the way out. But
sweet.
Yeah, it was sweet, And but we did a little video, and we're going to have that on our social page here. I'm just putting it together with the editing part of it. But and then I went up to Hog Wild Adventures up in North Houston, and I didn't actually hunt that night. We sat around and played guitar and got caught up. Me and the owner are good buddies, and I guarantee you I saw a couple hundred hogs that night just out in the fields and driving around. We went fishing and get caught up. Yeah, it was just just So
and that's where we're going, right?
Yeah,
Hog Wild Adventures.
Hog Wild Adventures, and they're just north of Houston. It's a pretty cool place.
Yeah.
It's like 45 minutes north of Houston, and oh man, I've never seen hogs like that in my life. I mean, it's an amazing place, I mean, and that's what they do. It's 1,000 acres or something like that, and they literally manage. A lot of people shoot out their hogs and things, but Billy's been doing this for 15 years. They manage them. They don't shoot the sows, and he's like, hey, let's shoot everything just about 80 pounds, because it doesn't really hurt the hog herd, so to speak. He shoots selective boars. They even have he's even good enough to where he has culls, like where he won't shoot a trophy animal. He'll shoot a boar that he can tell doesn't have big teeth. I mean, these aren't pens or high fence or nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just free range hogs everywhere, but he manages them so well and the property so well just for pigs. It's a big working cattle ranch too. But it's amazing, man. I mean, they're just everywhere. And he's like, well, we won't shoot that one because she's a solid young one. But here's one. Here's a perfect boy. He's about 90 to 100 pounds. Let's go after him. And so, oh man, it's just I can't wait for you to get down
Dude,
there.
I can't either.
A guy we need to do it. It's something crazy.
Oh yeah, I mean the first
pistol with
a guy just commented, Angott sounds like the real deal, common man like us.
He ain't got a clue.
I can't wait. I can't wait till I come down there. Umarex is coming out with a new big bore air gun that I'm going to come down there with, and
there you go.
Of course I got a Barnett crossbow, and the first episode, the very freaking first episode I ever filmed for Dog Soldier, I tried to catch a 250-pound hog, and I'd never done it before, but I tried to do it without a catch dog, and he literally ate my ass, period. And so, like, I tell everybody, when it comes to hogs and alligators, don't tell me to do something stupid, because I don't have no, I do get scared of some things, but I do it anyway. Like, the other day I wrecked my bicycle, and it didn't look real bad, but I'm 38 years old and I'm fat and it hurt. And I said in that video, sometimes you're going to crash, you just got to do it anyway. That's Steve Kreiner,
Yeah.
And sometimes I know I'm going to get backlash for saying certain things, but if you believe in them, or you believe in yourself, you just got to do stuff. You know what I mean? And
sure.
did I tell you I started riding mountain bikes real hard, and I'm riding like 10 miles a day, when I can. Did I tell you I was
you're quite the overachiever. I mean, I'll just wait for this podcast to end so I can go get a bowl of ice cream.
Gee, many Christmas. You're ruining
my... I'm 46 and fat now. I mean, that's different. I mean, if you're out riding a bike around, I mean, I like to ride a bike to a burger joint.
Oh, dude.
I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Dude. When I come and hog hunt with you, we're going to ride bikes. You know why?
Oh, great.
Yeah, I partnered up with...
Three-wheelers? Yeah, I want a three-wheeler with the big granny seat on it. That'd be cool.
Dude, I partnered up with Rambo.
Oh, now I'm down with that.
Yes, sir. I can't wait. Oh my gosh, so next week I'm gonna have 4 Rambo bikes sitting in my house. I got to go to Vermont for a wedding. My mother-in-law is getting married, and me and Emily's going up there and take care of that. But when I get back, I've got bear baits out, of course, and so I'm in a crunch for time, and I'm hurrying up. But I've got Rambo bikes that's going to be sitting here waiting. Of course, I got a pedal bike, a fat tire pedal bike from Rambo, and then I got 4 e-bikes. And them things.
Well, I'll do the e-bike.
Dude, I'm gonna bring them with us. We're gonna have fun, and you know what? Depending on when I come, if we're gonna be like there at Houston, me and you'll jump in the truck, and we'll go down, and my buddy owns the biggest gator park in Texas. You know that Gator Park, Gator Country on I-10?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's my buddy. Dude, I'll show you the funnest thing.
Right.
I'll show you the funnest thing in the world. We'll take that FLX 500 out there, and I've got some gator sounds in my library, and we'll call these gators up, and we catch them with catfish rods. And it could be a 10-foot gator, dude.
I'm in.
And you fight them for like 45 minutes, and then if you want to, you can. You don't have to if you don't want to. But then me and Gary, we'll hand catch them. And
I'm down. No, I'm count me in. I was in fact, my wife and I and the neighbors were out tonight. We went on a little snake hunt, and we live in the country here in Texas, and we actually just did a little copperhead roundup. It's getting that time of year with the copperheads. We have a lot of live oaks here. We don't get a lot of rattlesnakes. We got one rattlesnake last year, and it was the neighbors kind of said, the older neighbors down to the south of us said, that's the first rattlesnake they've seen in 30 years. But
wow.
But we ended up we get a lot of copperheads around the house, and we have dogs, and of course, we're neighborly. We walk kind of back and forth between the houses, things like that. And, we don't want those little critters cruising around where someone could get hurt. So we went on their little roundup tonight. We ended up getting 2 of them. So
Sweet.
That is right up my alley. And the whole Alligator thing is, I just love them, and I think they're so cool. And yeah, I'm definitely down for that. That'd be fun.
Sweet, sweet. Well, man, I tell you what, it's about 10 minutes till the end of the show's over, and I am going to give away a Cirrus unit here, and I can't have anybody call in with you on the phone, so I'm going to have to kick you off.
Well, good. All right. Sounds great.
Jim, I tell you what, I ain't got nothing bad to say about you.
Well, that's nice. That's the best. That's great. That's a nice way of saying Jim Angott.
You know,
Angott, bad thing to say.
Dude,
that's good.
I tell you what, right now, I love this podcast because it gives me a platform to show people good products that I use. It gives me a platform to show people products I don't use, but it gives me a platform, and this is the most important to me, to get to know these people out there and get to know people like you, like we've talked an hour, and like, you're good people, dude. We're gonna have a lot of fun through this adventure. I'm really digging it.
Well, on behalf of everybody at Cirrus, and I really do speak on behalf of my business partners and our families and everything like that. We thank you too, and all your listeners and viewers, and we hope to see them out at the trade shows right alongside you and having some fun, and certainly look forward to having you come to Texas and enjoy a campfire. So
sweet,
let's get together soon, and you guys take care.
All right, I appreciate it, Jim. I'll talk to you soon,
right,
okay?
Steve, thank you.
All
right, buddy.
bye-bye.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Rock on. I tell you what, that was Jim Angott from Cirrus Outdoors, and what a cool dude. I don't know if, I seen Walter picked up on it. He's like, that Angott guy, he's a good sucker, That's what I like about this podcast. That's what I like about what we're doing. You guys, most importantly to me, I'm giving you guys a platform to get to know me better, and I'm giving you guys a platform to get to know the tools of the trade better. Whether they sponsor me or not, we talk about all kinds of things on this show. We talked about ammo last week that I've never shot, but I've seen shot, and I know guys that shoot it, and it. So, I mean, we are really, really, really having a good time. And, I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'm going to put it in the comments here. I'm going to put a comment or a phone number. And little Miles is rocking out right now. So here's the deal. There's the phone number. Now don't call it yet, because here's the deal. So I just put a phone number in the comments, and I'm going to let people call in, and I'm just going to hang up on you. The third caller will receive a Cirrus unit, okay? So, go ahead and call in right now. Third caller, 307-228-0650. Go ahead and call in, and I'll take that call. Actually, I'll take the third call. The third caller will receive a free Cirrus Windicator. I'll ship it to you and all that cool stuff, and of course, Miles, he's all over it. He's like, can I call again? No, you've already called, Miles. But if you're the third caller, Miles, I will answer it. I promise you. We are having so much fun. Okay, there's one caller. Okay, I declined that crap right there. Nothing personal. Nothing personal. So there's one caller. Let's get another caller in here. I always want to say, like, your caller number 2, click. I'm making you guys feel like you guys don't know. Some of you guys are probably young and you really don't know. But trying to win a free pizza or a set of concert tickets on the radio was a pain in the ass back in the 90s and early 2000s, because you had to call a million times. So anyway, come on. You guys got to call the damn number. Raymond Teska, do you not have a phone? Nobody's calling. I'm waiting. Yeah, Swamp Rat, I tell you what, one thing about it is very, 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 very funny how many hours I've spent pushing phone numbers to radio stations trying to win free stuff. Okay, so nobody is calling in. That's weird to me. Like, you guys don't want a free Cirrus unit? Well, Eric, you got to, brother. Eric just commented, I'm going to make the phone call just so it will be done. So, we was talking earlier. Rambo Bikes is a okay. If it's busy, call again. Uh-oh. I don't know why it won't work. Okay. So, yeah, you know what, Cooper? Them call-ins are a pain in the ass. I hate call-ins to a rodeo. Okay. I'm going to give you wonder why it's not available. Okay, I tell you what you do. Okay, here's your number. The next one to call, 417 327 3246. I'll take 2 calls. 417 327 3246. That's my other Google number. Waiting on caller number 2. I need a caller number 3. 417 327 3246. Anyway, we were talking a while ago. Rambo Bikes. Okay, there's caller number 2. We're waiting on caller number 3. Let's do this. I landed Rambo Bikes as a partner with the show, and I'm excited because I ride bikes a lot. Most importantly, my mom don't count. Or here, hold on a minute. I'll call you later, Mom. Mom, you don't need a Cirrus Windicator. Okay, here we go. Hey, Steve Kreiner here.
Hey, it's my caller number 3.
You're caller number 3. Who am I speaking to?
This is Casey Spidell.
What's up, Casey? How you doing?
Good, man.
Good deal. Hey, so anyway, I'm going to send you a Cirrus Windicator free. But
Sweet.
Do you have Facebook?
I do indeed.
Okay, so what you need to do is go to my fan page. It's Steve Kreiner, the Dog Soldier, or Dog Soldier Steve Kreiner, or something like that.
Oh, I'm familiar with that one.
Cool. Yeah, just go send me a message with your name and make sure you tell me what you want and your address and stuff like that. And
Sweet.
I'll get you one in a minute. So where are you from, Casey?
I'm in southeast Idaho, Pocatello.
Oh, dude, Idaho is awesome. You
man,
you can hunt wolves
it
in
is
Idaho,
awesome.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
They just opened it up for us in the predator zones. And
I saw that, yeah.
dude, I'm really freaking pumped about that.
Oh, they're fun, man. Yeah, every time we go elk hunting, it's always fun to get a wolf tag because you never know.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, hey, brother, is the podcast and everything, you digging what we're doing here at Dog Soldier?
It's awesome. Oh, yeah. I'm kind of new to the coyote scene, so this is
cool.
This is great information, man.
Yeah, well, good. We're going to keep on blasting out podcasts just like this every week, and I might have to pre-record one every now and then, just due to hunts and stuff like that, or I'm trying to find a portable way to do this, from the field when I'm hunting and doing different things across the country. But I'll tell you right now, I appreciate you, man. I can't do this stuff without you. It don't matter if you've coyote hunted for 10 years or one day. I am, and I say this to everybody, I genuinely appreciate you calling in, and I genuinely appreciate you winning stuff. And I just want you to know I can't do this crap without you guys. I really can't. And
I appreciate it as well, man. You got some good material.
Cool. Well, I appreciate it. And go to my fan page, send me that name, and send me your address and everything, and I'll get you a Cirrus out, brother.
Awesome. Hey, thanks, Steve.
All right, spread the word, man.
Will do, man. Have a good one.
All right, be good, brother. That's phone calls I like to make right there. I like phone calls that I like when people call in and they appreciate things, and I just want you guys to know that I appreciate you guys. Dave Murphy just commented, whatever happened to Catfish Cooley? Well, Catfish had a tornado hit literally 10 minutes before I was supposed to call him, so that went bad. Now, we will have Catfish on sooner or later. He's a busy guy, and he's hard. Yeah, Walter. But he's hard to pin down. But, me and Catfish are good buddies from way back. You heard me talking about the Gator Park, there in Beaumont. Me and Catfish have wrestled gators before together, and he's just a good person, man. He's a little wild and he's a little rank, man. And he's edgy, way more edgy than I am. But you know what? Some people have different platforms to shine, and they can do that stuff. And man, I tell everybody the first R-rated hunting show will be a success. But you know, Catfish is the real deal, and I really like what he's doing with people, and I really like that he's going and seeing people and visiting people and giving back to the needy. And he's a really, really, really good dude. Cool. Well, anyway, I was talking a while ago, and I believe, let's see here, Tesca, trying to find Raymond Tesca says he's 64 and he's in central and northern New York, and he's wanting to buy a Rambo. Rambo, we will have a podcast on the Rambo bikes, Raymond. Probably next week, maybe. I'll try to get some guys from Rambo on. But what we're going to do with Rambo is, the reason I chose Rambo as a partner, because I cannot find a bad review about Rambo. I mean, these guys make a great bike. The efficiency on these electric bikes are off the charts. But most importantly, instead of talking about how the product is badass and how this is badass, I'm going to talk about how I am going to kill coyotes. Now, I'll have Rambo on to talk about the capabilities and the specs of their products and stuff like that. If I can't get Zach Barrett on, that will be fine. I can do it by myself, that podcast. I'm going to talk a lot about how motor noise affects killing coyotes. It's a tremendous nightmare to coyote hunters. Motor noise, road noise, it absolutely sucks, and it'll make a good day bad. And if you don't think it will, how many times have you went coyote hunting and you've walked out, 5,000 acres, and it took you all day long and you didn't kill a coyote, or you drove out 5,000 acres and you didn't kill a coyote, and then the next day you screw around and you're making some good drop stands, or you decided to walk into a ranch and that switch flips. I believe coyotes turn on and off, just like fish or anything else. One day can be really good, the next day can be really bad. But if you'll sit and pay attention more often than not, if coyote hunting's really good today and it's not really good tomorrow, you need to figure out what you're doing different day by day. And a lot of it will be dictated by pressure and how you approach your stands. You can go out in Arizona, park 50 yards, walk over a hill on the side of the road and kill a coyote in some areas. But there's a lot of places in Arizona that you got to get off the road. You got to not be heard. Can you imagine? Today I rode down to the bike shop. It's 1.5 miles from here. I rode down there and back, and just for the heck of it, it would have took me an hour to walk. Because 3 miles in Sheridan, Wyoming is tough because there's big old hills right here in town. It didn't take me no time, just a few minutes to get down there. I did my business with the bike shop owner, a few minutes to get back. You can cover so much ground on a bicycle, and it takes less effort to ride a bicycle up a hill than it does walk up a hill, believe it or not. But with these Rambo bikes and the technology and the pedal assist and the electric motors, it's going to be off the charts. My ratios are going to go up. Now, this is the best season I've ever had. I killed 60-some coyotes this year on video. I'm telling you right now, next year is going to be dominating. I'm gonna hammer these coyotes, and I'm going to do a lot of it off of a bicycle, and I'm really going to concentrate on the basics. And you don't have to have a bicycle to concentrate on the basics. But if you're making good solid stands and coyotes are there and they're not coming to the call, then something is wrong, and you got to figure it out. And a lot of the times, if you get heard, seen, or smelt before you get to a coyote stand, it's going bad. I don't know what else to tell you. It is what it is. So next week's podcast, we're going to talk about Rambo bikes, plain and simple. That's what we're going to talk about. Once again, guys, this podcast has been brought to you by TacticalPredatorHunter.com for your Dog Soldier approved gear. All you got to do is shoot me an email on that website. I'll answer all your questions. Man, it's a good place to hang out for all your Dog Soldier approved gear. Once again, I want to thank Cirrus Windicator and John and all his partners and the families in that business, making a great product and being on the podcast tonight. Once again, I'm Steve Kreiner, the Dog Soldier. Peace out, homies. I'll catch you on down the road. next week, right here live from YouTube channel, youtube.com/DogSoldierTV, or on your Apple and iPhone platforms, the podcast app, iTunes. We're there.